Liverpool can be a very lonely place on a Friday night, and it's only Sunday morning. You can see some of the architecture here. This building behind me is the St George's Hall in Liverpool, and it's, I forget the name of the style of those columns, Ionic, I think it is. And then you've got a very Gothic building over there, which has been many things over the years. I'm not sure what it was originally was. I think it was just like, I think it was a hotel originally, and then it's been all kinds of stuff. It's been offices, and it's been student homes for a while. Now it's something else again. I think it still belongs to the John Moores University though. And then over my left shoulder here, you can just about see, oh no, the Liver buildings, which you can see at the start of, there they are. Can you see them? Over here. Part of the, when you watch the start of the Yellow Submarine film for all you Beatles fans. Anyway, so this place, St George's Hall, is it's featured in many TV and films, including the 1980s Sherlock Holmes that I often mention on my podcast. There was an 80s sitcom called Watching, which I'm very fond of, but not many people remember it. And most recently, and notably of course, is the Batman film. And I'm going to keep walking so I don't get completely thrown into the loony bin. It's very cold. It's been very, very mild actually. I'm not even sure if I can go that way. I'll stick to this way. Keep this in the background. Over there, next to that dome area, that's Lime Street Station, and that features in many classic British films. I was watching loads and loads of old classic British films with my mum in her final days on Talking Pictures. I'll try not to cry in this video. And Lime Street, very featured a lot, and all these like dramas and a lot of British noir. There's a lot of mention of Lime Street in them. I was very happy about. And also for you comic fans, comic historians, this is a little bit of comic trivia I remember. One of the greatest comics ever made from this island was the Eagle magazine for boys and Swift magazine called Comic Paper for girls. And it was run by what was the guy's name? Well, the artist was Frank Hampson, and the guy behind it was like a vicar, or yeah, I think he was a vicar or a priest or a pastor or whatever you want to call it in your country. And he had the idea that there wasn't a good quality comic paper magazine for children, so he set up the Eagle and created Dan Dare, and then the Eagle would go on to inspire 2000 AD, which would feature Judge Dredd and so on. And they met at Lime Street Station and took it down to London. And I think they all come from like the northwest. And they took it down and they pitched it and they got published. I forget all the details, but anyway, It's a lot busier than I expected on a Sunday. I'm gonna get my ticket and I'll see you later. Bye bye. That's the British countryside for you. Just getting rid of some stuff from my mum's house. It's almost complete. There's still a lot of stuff that needs to be packed and sent. I don't know if I'm going to do it in time. Well, I'll have to, but I don't know how I'm going to do it in time. Anyway, I don't know what time it is, but I'll have to get the trip. Of course it is. Train back to Liverpool, Elm Street delayed by 7 minutes. At least I can listen to this nice bird. I'll catch you later. This is Toxteth Park Cemetery. I'm going to try and find my granddad's grave to pay my respects. Let's hope I can find it. It's as bleak can be out here. There's just rows and rows. I've got all the forms on how to find the grave. This is my third time now. It's got conflicting information as to where it is. It doesn't seem to add up. There's so much great Gothic. I was going to say there's so much great Gothic architecture and masonry, stone masonry. I could look at this for hours. It is a nice place. It's a shame that the whole thing has a great atmosphere if you're into Gothic horror. It's a shame that where is it? The word Asda now rests snugly on the cemetery wall. The Afterlife, now sponsored by Asda. And I want to show you this over here. That's my silly second-hand bike that I actually use to cycle to visit my mum every day at the home, carrying food and whatnot, breaking my back. This entrance opened to the public 25th of March 1884. I want to show you these ingenious entrances. Ooh, bit of a tight squeeze. neat, isn't it? You've got to go around these revolving gates. And you know what? This is funny, this house here behind me, you'll never guess. So you see this house here and that room there, my mum and dad lived in that very apartment here. It's like a shared student house. My mum lived there for a while with a lot of late 70s, early 80s punk rockers and arty types, including, I think this is where they lived with Pete Burns from Dead or Alive, and there was a fella from the Mighty Wah, and that's it. I can't believe it. Right outside. I wasn't conceived in that building, which would have been funny. That really would have been something. That would have been the full circle, but more or less. It's crazy to think. 42 years later, I'd be here. Little did my mum know that her son would be making a video for the whole world to see outside that place where she lived. She was probably 19 at the time. Well, that's that. Let's try the other door. Just about enough room there. Whew. Well, I found it. It took me a while, but I've figured it out. Resting place of Albert Edward McGee, my grandfather, who passed away on the 14th of July, 1969, just weeks or maybe days before man landed on the moon. I remember my mum telling me that she wasn't bothered about watching it on TV. She was looking forward to it for so long, but when the day came and people were telling her that it was on TV, she didn't want to know because she was still sad. Also inscribed on the stone is the name of my grandmother, Gillian Eileen McGee, passed away on the 1st of January 2003, who I did meet, and she was an essential part of my childhood. And she passed away just before I left England for Japan 20 years ago. She's not buried there, but she was cremated and Sadly, I'll never get to be near the ashes again, thanks to family complications. But it's nice to see her name, nevertheless. At the time of this is recorded on the 2nd of March 2022, and the day after tomorrow my mum will be cremated in Cemetary, Liverpool, at 9:40 a.m. And then I pick up the ashes on Monday, and that's it. I'm free to go back to Japan. I have to clear away everything first and ship everything of sentimental value back to me in Japan. And that's it. It's the end of the road. And then I'll be completely on my own. I'll have my cousin Julie in New Zealand. Well, she's in New Zealand. So it's not like I can just hop on a train to see her, unfortunately. And she doesn't know how to operate a computer, so I can't have any Zoom chat or FaceTime. But I can call her. But otherwise, that's it. And when she's gone, that really will be it. No one to speak to, family-wise. That's a strange feeling, I don't mind telling you. Strange feeling indeed. It's time for me to get going, I think. Yeah. I hope if you've got family, you look after them and tell them that you love them. Each and every day. Because you never know. All the usual cliched stuff. You know how it goes. I'll catch you next time.